In this video, I'm just going to talk a little bit about my perception of what's going on energetically and how empaths and Blu-rays and all the sensitive people can actually deal with that a little bit easier. Hi and welcome back. My name's Fran or Franziska, and I haven't made a video for the Blu-rays and the empaths in my community for quite a long time. I think it's been partly the times we've been going through. It's probably the best time to make one, but I don't know. I just sort of felt like I needed to withdraw a bit, pull back a bit, nurture myself a bit. I had a bit of a health issue. I had a thing on my tonsil that needed sorting out, and I don't know, I just sort of felt like I pulled inside a little bit. But it's certainly been pretty intense. And for empaths and sensitives and Blu-rays, and that is the direction I want to take this actually, rather than just Blu-rays, because my main reason for making Blu-ray videos is to address the sensitivity and the intuition and all of that. I'm not that much into the whole star connections and all of that. To me, energetically, that's not as important as what people are actually experiencing here right now as they live life. That matters to me. Hang on, I'll get a drink of water. That matters to me a lot more because where we come from isn't that important to me. Who we are now, how we're feeling, how we're dealing with life, and where we're going is far more interesting to me. So we've all come from all over the place. We've had lots of lives. We've lived in different systems, energies, dimensions, all sorts of places. But we're all here now for a reason, and that's what matters. You know, as empaths, as sensitives, this can be a really tough time. We've got so much going on. The news is full of fear and drama and rules and chaos, and, you know, overseas, all the protests in America, and, you know, quite a bit of violence with that, which is quite intense for empaths to deal with. I don't like seeing violence. It really gets to me. So I've actually not been watching the news much. I have a Google every now and then and see what's going on, and that'll do, because it just, yeah, I find it difficult. And the news, the media thrives on drama. You know, they'll wind things up to sell their product, their news. So yeah, I've been trying to avoid that and just sort of have a more balanced view. But a lot of people have been struggling with the energy, the intensity around that, you know, as Blu-ray beings, as empaths, as sensitives. I think we're all idealists to a certain point. We have a vision of how wonderful life could be. You know, how beautiful life could be if we were all kind to each other, if we treated each other well, if we respected each other. If we got to do what fulfills us as utopia, there's a desire to live in that kind of world. And right now what we're seeing is anything but. There's control games, there's stuff coming up, news coming up, stories coming out in the open, you know, all those stories about the child trafficking and all of that, you know, that's all come out recently quite strongly. And that's not really the utopia we're looking for. But it's good that it's coming out, because things need to come up to be cleared within us and within the world. You know, when we're healing something, it needs to come up so that we can look at it, so that we can heal it. Well, it's the same as with our world. Things need to come to the surface so that they can be looked at and so that they can be healed. But it's a very intense dance at the moment of the power crazies, the power trippers, the people who are the bigwigs in the world, who like controlling things. That's their energy. They're into controlling things. They're into being in charge, and it's just how they operate. And it's kind of sad to be on that wavelength. Control is generally, to me, it says you're a weak person if you want to control people or things. It shows an inner weakness of not being rich and full within themselves to want to do that to other people. A happy person doesn't want to do that to other people. A happy person wants to see other people happy. You know, that's what brings them joy. So yeah, we're living in funny times, and taking care of ourselves is so important during this time. Do minimize how much media time you do if you're feeling it affecting you, or you're feeling negative or stressed out by it. I found just actually switching off to all the news and all of that, and I just, like during the lockdown here in New Zealand, I just Googled what the stats were once every couple of days and had a look how many cases, what's happening, and then just turned it off again, because there was so much garbage and propaganda out there that was designed to just make people afraid that I just thought I don't need to watch that. So yeah, do minimize it, especially if you're somewhere in a country that's still a lot more wound up, like there's more lockdowns now in Australia and Melbourne and around there. America is still in turmoil. Other countries are still having issues. We don't know whether there's going to be another lockdown here. Hopefully not, because humans need to survive and earn money and have businesses. You know, it's important. If people can't support themselves, we're in trouble. So yeah, but taking care of yourself is important. And one thing I've noticed with the whole media, and it's something that's probably bugged me more than anything, is the fact that they say wear a mask, social distance, do this, do that, you know, at various times in different countries. They have slightly different formats of it, but none of them say eat fruits and vegetables, get plenty of sleep, drink plenty of water, all of those things that are going to keep our immune system healthy and strong and vibrant. I mean, gosh, if everybody does that, people are so much healthier. So even if they did get COVID, they would, their immune system would keep them okay. You know, they might have a flu or feel sick, but they'll probably recover because they're healthy and their body is strong. So, but none of that's been put out there, and I think our health authorities really should be doing that. I'm quite disappointed that they can't do that. It's not all about pharmaceuticals. Health isn't about pharmaceuticals. Sometimes it's necessary, and I don't have anything against the health system. If I break my leg, I certainly want a doctor, not a spiritual healer at that point in time. But, you know, everything in its place and balance is important. So, yeah, do look after your health, especially if you're sensitive. You know, you're probably sensitive to, you know, foods and things too. A lot of sensitive people have a sensitive gut and can react negatively to certain processed foods and chemicals that might trigger them, you know, so be a bit careful. Dairy, if you want to keep your lungs clear, is not a good thing. It creates phlegm and congestion, so if you're worried about catching the flu, yeah, try and knock dairy out a bit or reduce it a great deal. Pineapple's really good for clearing your lungs and phlegm and things like that. So yeah, eat some pineapple, drink some pineapple juice, and yeah, keep your body healthy, strong, support your immune system, stay calm, stay in a good space. I don't think we're through all of this yet. I think it's going to go on for a bit longer, and the powers that be keep announcing that there's more to come, you know. So it's a pretty weird time. I have my own opinions about what that's all about, and I can't talk about all of that on YouTube, obviously, because YouTube censors what's being talked about. It's another interesting thing, what's being censored on social media. In my Blu-ray group, Beings group on Facebook, I got a message from Facebook that the group had conspiracy theory posts in it, which it didn't. It really doesn't get political or into any of that. It's far more spiritual and holistic. And I was like, what? But apparently it was a member of the group reported a post, and then Facebook got involved and decided it was a conspiracy group, and I had to fix that up and sort that out. But it's calmed down again because that was ridiculous. It's not a conspiracy group whatsoever. But it just showed me how over the top they are with things like that, you know. A conspiracy theory is an opinion, and everybody has opinions. Whether they're right or wrong, it doesn't matter, but they are an opinion, a version of the truth, a person who sees it a certain way. And we're all allowed to have opinions. It's our right to have our own thoughts and our own mind and our own thinking. It's our divine right to have that. It's free will. It's actually a universal law. And seeing that being restricted really got to me for a bit there. It was like, wow, okay, that's crazy stuff. So yeah, I think we're living in very, very strange times. And I do feel more and more people are waking up. And that's the beauty of it. People are seeing what's happening and how extreme and how intense it is. And they are waking up because it's like, wow, this isn't quite right. So they're paying attention and they're looking at other answers and ideas and theories. And I'm not saying all of it's right. Who knows? But they're being open to taking another point of view, which is important. And so there's a huge awakening happening right now, and that's the beautiful thing. There's an enormous awakening happening. More and more souls are becoming aware of who they are, their spiritual autonomy, their right to autonomy, their right to live their truth, to connect with good people, to live a life of meaning and value, and a right to freedom. It's a part of our spiritual rights too. I'm quite strong on that. Spiritual rights, we all have free will, and that's a universal law. Freedom is another universal law. Freedom of expression, freedom to be who you want to be. Those are really, really important key values and things that need to be respected and seen. So yeah, and that's becoming more and more prevalent and open, and yeah, I'm enjoying watching that. It's like I feel a little bit like I'm in a really weird sci-fi movie. Sometimes I look around and go, oh my God, what's happening out there? It's like a sci-fi book I would have read years ago when I was into that sort of stuff. And yeah, it's a pretty crazy story. So try and connect with other like-minded people. That's really important. Otherwise you can end up feeling very alone in your own point of view. Look after yourself, look after your well-being, look after your health, look after your emotional well-being and your mental well-being. Spend time in nature, get grounded, connect with nature. Nature has been fantastic for me. I just go outside and sit by the lake or watch birds or swans or whatever. And it reminds me that life is going on, actually. We've got all this madness, and then we've just got life and nature, and it's actually pretty much doing what it always does and carrying on, and there's no big drama there. So nature is very, very soothing if you're feeling a bit rattled by it all. I found that anyway. Yeah, and meditation's good. It's calming. Focus on your breath. I get asked often when I do readings, how can I develop my gifts, my spiritual gifts and so forth. And really, honestly, meditation's the most powerful thing you can do. And people have been doing it for donkey's years, whether you call it meditation or prayer or whatever. It's always been the one thing that the different spiritual viewpoints have all kind of had a practice of. So develop a good, strong spiritual practice. Take some time out for meditation. And take good care of yourself. And you're going to get through this really well. At the moment, we're just watching while, it's playing itself out, really. More and more people are waking up. That's why there's protests. But some people are actually manipulating the protests, which is a bit of a shame. Genuine protests, peaceful protests, I think are good. We've had a few here in New Zealand, and I think great. People are standing up and saying, this is what we want, this is how we see it, and this is what the message we have. So that's great, but rioting, no. I don't think that's particularly empowering to anyone. So anyway, I just wanted to make this video because I feel I've been very, very silent over this whole time. And I've been a little bit wary of saying what I think because of all the drama and things like that. But yeah, the biggest key is your energy. You know, that is actually how the big awakening will happen, is by all our energies connecting and developing such a large field of positive, empowered, spiritual, beautiful energy that the negative stuff actually just can't push it down anymore. It can't. It's not possible. It may still carry on and exist in its little pockets, but it cannot overwhelm the positive anymore. So energy and your own energy are the key. You know, look after it. It's precious, it's yours, it's beautiful. Take care of it, keep it clear. I love visualizing, you know, whatever ray of light you feel at the time. Blue ray, pink ray for love and healing. Sometimes gold is nice just for cleaning, cleaning denser vibrations out. And I just imagine and feel a ray of light coming down and throughout my whole being and my aura, my energy field, and just clearing everything out. And that's a nice thing to do too, on a regular basis, with whatever colour feels right to you. I use different ones at different times depending on how I'm feeling. So I wanted to just check in, say hi, wish you all the best and lots of love, and look after your beautiful selves. You're here for a reason. You're here to be a part of this great awakening that's happening. So lots of love, and see you all next time.